violin that's stuck away up in the shelf in your closet, or a trumpet or a trombone, dust them off. Take out that sheet music and play. Music is just an unbelievable healer in life. It makes us feel good, and music can bring such joy to everybody. But Reed, keep the bagpipes put away. I don't recommend the bagpipes. Okay, I'm going to wrap up and just say that it's been a wonderful week. Enjoy music, enjoy the springtime, and I'm going to give it back to you, Reed.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Doc. Well said. We have with us a guy who's running the program over here, Dave Ward. And Dave, are you related to Harry in any way?
Oh yes, that's my dad.
You used to be pretty busy over in Westfield too, as I recall.
Yeah.
Okay, Dave is going to talk just very briefly about this, and then we'll have Cathy Young join us. So what's on? What's going on here, Dave?
Well, when they decided to do the 200th celebration for the county, we noticed that Michelle Henry, our county historian, was very, very busy with this thing, and she couldn't handle it alone. So we decided that as a committee, and that's the Town of Chautauqua Republican Committee, decided that she needed some help. And we said, let's keep this thing out of politics. Let's just help the county move ahead and do a wonderful celebration. So
especially
we asked,
since the county's actually not Republican, it has a majority now of Democrats, right?
well, we asked to have an event, and we met with her. And the town of Chautauqua and the town of Pomfret were the first two towns in the county. In 1811, they were the only towns. So we decided to have an event called Two Towns, Two Centuries. And we're celebrating that, basically, but we decided to bring everybody in we could and get some history throughout the whole county. So what we ended up with was a event that has a whole conglomeration of historical societies and local authors and local vendors. And
this is going on right now here.
It's going to start at 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock
till 3.
Till 3. Is there food?
Oh, you betcha.
Beverages?
There's
music? Dancing?
Yes. Well, no dancing.
Fooling around?
Well, there's a clown there.
Really? Who's the clown?
We have Rainbow the Clown.
He's from where, Brockton? Or Fredonia or somewhere in that area?
That area towards Pomfret, which is good. We have people in period dress from the Civil War coming in. The local VFW is doing the flag ceremony with the pledge in the beginning. And of course, our Assemblyman Andrew Goodell and our State Senator Cathy Young will be there, and we're just hoping to have a real good event and have people come out and enjoy the history of our town and our county and mingle as we should and enjoy the spring day that we have here.
Thank you, Dave. It sounds like a gala occasion, and you'll get a chance to meet Andy again. We had him on last week on the show.
Good.
And he did a bang-up job, and Cathy Young is a superstar. she does a wonderful job here.
We're proud of both of them.
Yeah. Well, thanks again, Dave, and I'll let you get back to the show. Again, what's the organization? What's it called?
Two Towns, Two Centuries.
Two Towns, Two Centuries. Right here in the old school. Where do they go? Just in the back door, front door?
Right in Celebration Hall. If you're a local resident, you remember it as the old gym auditorium for Mayville School.
Okay, the old gym.
Yep.
Thanks a lot, Dave.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. We're going to take a brief moment of quiet, peace. Give yourself this time, and then we'll have our guest, Cathy Young, with us. Every time you have a moment in the summer, fall, winter, and spring, relax, sit down, clear your mind, give yourself a little time. You'll live a lot longer, and you will incidentally reduce your blood pressure, and just concentrate on something beautiful, such as fishing on this little dock in Mayville. This is for you, friends. You're the one, the first one in the universe. This is for you. beautiful to go out in the morning and catch a fish down at the docks, and then to have to clean it? I don't know. I have a friend clean it. We're with Cathy Young, who's our really terrific senator from the state of New York, and she's brought a lot of cheer, joy, and funding and support to Chautauqua County. And I don't think we've ever had anybody who's given us so much. Well, Jesse Preston gave us a little lighthouse out in back of the museum.
That's right. He did.
Every senator got one, incidentally. The state funding. Cathy, it's so good to have you here. We had your counterpart, Andy, here last week, and he talked a lot about some of the things involved with what he's doing. He got a lot of calls, too. Ask him about it. At any rate, what's going on that we should know about in the state Senate? Now, one thing that has changed is that you pointed out that although everybody running the state basically is from downstate, they do tend to be a little bit more acquiescent to the needs of the upstate area, right?
Well, actually, the power has shifted again this year, which is a great thing for upstate, because over the past 2 years, everything was controlled by New York City. The Senate, actually, we lost control 2 years ago, so it was controlled by New York City. The Assembly was heavily controlled by New York City. Governor Patterson was from New York City. And as a result, you saw a lot of crazy things going on. Very anti-upstate agenda, very against economic growth and out-of-control taxes and spending. We saw $14 billion in tax hikes over the past couple of years, and it was on everything from people's utilities at a time when they had trouble paying their bills. It was on property taxes where star rebate checks were taken away.
I think you'd indicated it boiled down to about a 25% hike in taxes.
That's right.
And
so
you said the average family is going to suffer thousands of dollars.
Right. That's exactly what happened. Over the past 2 years, it cost the average family about $5,000, and who can afford that? So it was just a time where it was very difficult in Albany, and at the same time, spending went up $14 billion. So out of control taxes, out of control spending, and at the same time, there were about 850,000 people out of work. So as I said, you raise taxes on people's health insurance plans when they can't afford the premiums and things like that. It has a devastating effect.
Well, we have, even at the local level now, I talked to our county exec about it, Greg, and he tells me, well, actually, in cutting taxes, what is happening is shifting the tax burden to the local taxpayers, and so now we had a 9% hike in our local real estate tax, that's hair-raising, I'll tell you.
Well, that's the thing, is that we can't have property taxes continue to go up in this state, and so we have to do something about it. So from my perspective, the most important thing we need to do is grow jobs. I think that our biggest, and this is proven, our biggest export in Chautauqua County, but actually across New York State, is our young people. And a few years ago, I was talking to one of my senior classes, 83 students, and I asked the kids, I said, how many of you plan to stay here after you graduate? 3 out of 83 raised their hands.
No kidding.
3 out of 83,
well,
that's a crisis.
We've lost, as evidence of this, we've lost two representatives in the Congress this year.
That's right.
We lost 2, not 1.
That's right.
Which is a massive number of exodus.
It is. And if you look at the census numbers, Chautauqua County has lost a lot of people over the past 10 years. So we've got to turn that around, and the way that you do that is to have jobs and opportunities for people. You focus on private sector jobs, and when you have private sector jobs booming, then you have enough funds to either reduce taxes or, fund our schools, fund our hospitals, and so on, which is very important.
Okay, well, that's quite true. And also, expanding the local industries. Now, up here, you're not going to get a GM. You're probably not going to get GM anywhere these days. But we do have. Well, let me close that thought off until we finish with a couple of calls. We got some calls.
Okay,
here.
sure.
Good morning, caller. Thank you for waiting.
Hi, Mrs. Young.
Yes. Good morning.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
Well, Mr. Goodell has a bill that he is proposing, and I'm not sure where the bill is right now, but it's to eliminate seniority rights for teachers. My question is this: since we have seniority rights in the legislature, in the U.S. Congress, police, fire, even the military to some extent, depending on how you define it. Why only teachers?
Well, I haven't read the legislation, so I really can't comment on it. I do know that there was a bill passed in the Senate that actually dealt with New York City. And they have a big problem in New York City where there are 500 teachers right now that have been found to have committed assault, sexual abuse, prostitution, lewdness, extortion, and so on. And because the rules are restrictive, those teachers actually sit in something they used to call the rubber rooms. There was one case where a man was getting paid $100,000 per year as a teacher for 10 years. So there's $1 million of taxpayer funds that went toward keeping this guy on. And what he had done was so egregious he couldn't be in a classroom. So, you know, I believe in collective bargaining, but at the same time, if there's somebody like that who we're paying for and a good teacher gets let go because the money's going towards somebody who has to sit in a rubber room, that has to change.
One of the things one of the things I'd like to ask is, there is a procedure for getting rid of these people called a 2038 hearing.
3020A.
3028.
Exactly.
Right.
And why don't they just get rid of them?
Let me just cut in here for a minute because I do
Because
know
it takes, because, you know, the reason is that it takes a long time. There's a lot of money that actually is cost to the school district because of lawyer fees and so on. And we want to keep our good teachers. We have so many great teachers in the southern tier, and we want to keep our good teachers.
Well, when I was down in the New York area, they had basically the rubber room was probably located at 110 Livingston Street, which was the central headquarters for the educational system, and they just sat around in there doodling.
Well, that's what they do.
Got 'em
And
off
they
the
can't-
street, you know?
Right, exactly. So, I mean, to me, there's a middle ground there, and we have to take a look at it.
Okay.
And so,
Well,
but thank you for
I
your call.
understand that problem, but I don't think this bill will. Are you still there?
Yes, I am. I'm listening.
Yeah, I don't think this bill really addresses that too much. But the fact of the matter is aren't there same problems in police? And I know that teachers that have been committed these kind of crimes have been suspended with or without pay, like right away. A lot of them without pay immediately. So you can address this. But the other thing is too is we have the same problems with police, fire, military. But yet, no, why is this bill only directed at teachers? It seems to me like it's a union busting bill, because I know where I teach, there is no problem like that. And I don't know why they would be penalized. And you know as well as I do that the way this bill is written, that a angry parent could get a long-time teacher laid off, one that maybe has kids in college and has started a life. And, you know, and you know as well as I do, you know, people start out life, and yeah, they can afford to be, although nobody can afford it, but a layoff isn't as detrimental to their career early years as it is maybe in the middle of their career, especially in teaching, the way the pay is set up.
No, and you know, I understand, and as I said, I haven't read that particular bill, but I also know that there is going to be, at some point, I think, some kind of teacher evaluation system, but you have to make sure that you put in something that really evaluates the teachers on what they're doing. And as you said, you can't have somebody with a vendetta, for example, who is influencing the process. So I believe the Board of Regents is working on that right now. I don't know when that's going to come out. I know that NYSUT, the teachers union, actually worked with Governor Patterson to come up with a system, but it's not defined yet. So we'll see what happens with that.
Okay.
I still am wondering why not the police and fire and other public employees. Why just teachers? I really don't understand that.
Caller, especially since the teachers happen to be very active campaigners, and they all vote, and the unions also will be involved. So anybody who looks like they're union busting, which this looks like, to a degree, especially if you're going to just break tenure and seniority when you hire when you lay off teachers. I think they're going to be in for I don't know, it looks like a wasp's nest here.
Well, you know, at the same time,